To each man or woman is gifted a unique talent. To some, the gift of art. Some, singing. Others best at dancing. And to some, gifted in sport. Unique talent, making the world a better place. But in a village called Imputu lived a man, KWAME Bosco, with a rather mysterious gift, if it could be so called. He was a very lazy man. No, laziness wasn't the gift. It was the gift of magnetism, a unique ability to attract women of all age and classes to himself. A look at him, and one may wonder from whence came this ability to charm. I say he was nowhere close to attractive. His comfort was derived from the many gifts he got from the many women who fell in love with him. They would cook and clean for him, then satisfy his urges in the bedroom. KWAME Bosco was living his best life. Once, the most beautiful princess from a nearby kingdom had visited Imputu village. One betrothed to the prince. She had come to explore the land and plan with the prince how their wedding celebration could go. Alone in the garden one afternoon, there approached the most ugliest man she had ever seen, KWAME Bosco, who approached her to present an anklet she had lost during a horseback riding earlier. Getting into her presence, the proud princess was weak in her knees all at once, powerless as he spoke to her. It was an overwhelming love she had never felt before, one she had never experienced ever before. Engulfed in desire, she gave herself up to Bosco, making love to him right there in the garden. After that experience, the princess had no interest returning to her luxurious kingdom. It took her father's army to come grab her from KWAME Bosco's house. His unique attraction to ladies amidst his unattractive self and the jealousy and anger of the men in the village. Angry men will meet and express grievances, agreeing to destroy KWAME Bosco. But once in his presence, they are subdued into friendliness, farming for him and gifting him palm wine, money, clothes, amongst others. It was as though hating him was impossible. Not even the king could bring himself into hating KWAME Bosco. He had been gifted a land where some of these men farmed for him. It was rumored by many that the god of love had once visited Bosco's mother when she was pregnant with him, blessing the fetus with this power of attraction. Others had rumored that he was the angel of love himself, disguised in human form. But will an angel look anything like KWAME Bosco? Well,
now, here is how KWAME Bosco, the unattractive lazy man, came to possess such unique magnetic charm quality.
As a boy in his original village he came from, KWAME Bosco was ridiculed by all for his ugly looks, and this greatly hurt his feelings. One day, he ventured into the forbidden forest to throw himself at anything fate had in store for him. If he would disappear, he didn't care. If it was death that awaited him, well, so be it. He had had enough in this life. It so happened that on that fateful day, beautiful daughters of the river god had come ashore the bank of the river to enjoy the serenity earth offered, something they did once every 4 years. They were mermaids, but once on earth, they took the shape of humans so they could run about, play, and have fun. A special necklace they wore helped them with this back and forth transformation. To be humans, they will simply take off this special necklace. To transform, they will wear it back, slipping into their mermaid form. They will assess the depths of the river which was their abode. La Vitita, the youngest of the sisters, overjoyed that day in a human form, explored the perimeters of the forest. Far away from her sisters, a special necklace hung on the branch of a tree. At that same time, KWAME Bosco, who was aimlessly walking about in hopes that a wild animal would attack him, chanced on this unique necklace he had never on earth seen before. He took it, staring at it in admiration, in spite of his mental predicament. Then a thought struck him. He was here in this forbidden forest not just by sheer luck, but for a chance to redemption. If he could take this precious jewel with him and sell it, he would become one of the most richest men in his village or kingdom. And with wealth came with respect, he thought. Wealth had a way of concealing one's ugliness. It brought inner peace and outer beauty. He was going to be a rich man, he thought. Just before he could leave, there stood before him the most beautiful human he had ever seen in his life. It was the human mermaid, La Vitita. He was dumbfounded as he stared at this beauty personified. She was filled with fear not only for the ugliness of the man before her, but for the fact that he held the only object that could help her transform, and her necklace in the hands of a human neutralized any power she had that could harm him. She was at this point vulnerable. "Kindly let me have my necklace," she pleaded. "I need to go back." Realizing her uneasiness and vulnerability, he gained confidence. "It is now mine," he retorted. She pleaded with him, explaining it was the only way she could return to the river as a mermaid. By nightfall, without the necklace, she was likely to die. Upon hearing that she was a mystical being, 1,000 thoughts flooded his mind. He had what she needed. He could get what he wanted. What did he really want at this point in his life? He wanted to be rich? Maybe. But could riches bring him full satisfaction? He further wondered. Then, revenge came to mind. If he could get people to love and respect him, they could do for him everything at his bidding. Therefore, he made known his demands. "I'll let you have this on condition that you grant me a wish." She didn't have a good feeling about what his demand could be, but this seemed a man who would only give when he had taken. "What may I do for you?" she asked, unhappily. "But it can only be a single wish." Though greedy, he could do with a wish. He had given it a thought already. "I want to be loved by all," he said. Having stated his wish, and with no choice, she pulled strands of her hair, offering it to him. She asked him to have it with him every time, as that would be the modem to the charm. It was never to be destroyed, as it would mean a return to normalcy. Knowing an entity under this condition wouldn't lie, as they were known to be truthful, he took the strands of hair and gave her her chain. She told him about the dangers of acquiring things by force. And in a twinkle, she disappeared. KWAME Bosco excited at the gifts he now possessed. He walked out from the forbidden forest a happy man, getting to a crossroad where he saw a very beautiful young lady returning from a farm. She was one of the ladies who had disrespected him when he had once made an approach to her some time ago. He approached her in a close proximity. This young lady was overcome with a strong attraction for Bosco, which she had never felt before for any man. Sensing her weakness around him, KWAME Bosco was overjoyed, knowing the power he now possessed. He got home and wove the strands of hair with the yarn, making for himself a necklace with it. And thus, Kwame Bosco embarked on his escapades of taking for himself any woman of his liking. The charm was powerful, such that he even took to bed the wife of the fetish priest. The priest did nothing but to offer him a goat when he angrily approached Bosco. Years went by, and getting weary of the women in this village, ventured in Putu where his prowess gained fast popularity. He was a man of the plenty women. He would often wander the stream where the women fetched water, and marketplaces where they traded, and choose for himself women of his liking. They would fall easily under his spell and give themselves freely to him. Every one of these women wanted his love and affection. It so happened that one day, Kwame Bosco was visited by husbands of women he had slept with. They didn't come to attack him. It was just impossible to hate him once his charm was with him. They had come bearing gifts as they admired him to the point of making him their chief. They would distool the current chief, they said, and crown him. The elated Kwame Bosco couldn't conceal his joy. This was beyond expectations. This meant more power and the ability to do anything at will. He gracefully accepted this offer without hesitation. That night, he invited one of the young maidens to his chamber, drank as much palm wine as he could. He was drunk to stupor that he took off the necklace from his neck, leaving it on the floor to sleep his eyes out. Waking by the side of his lover and wanting to win his favor, she decided to clean his room to impress him. Drunk to stupor, he remained asleep even in the light of morning. She swept the room, including the necklace which was on the floor. Unaware what it was, she added it to the heap of rubbish outside the hut and burnt it into flames. As if there was a connection, Kwame Bosco woke abruptly, feeling his neck for the necklace. There was nothing there. He searched out. Seeing the absence of the necklace, fear and panic gripped him. Outside, he rushed to see the young lady standing by the blazing flame. Scared to the bone, he asked if she had seen his necklace. Turning to him, she was in utter shock and wonder who this ugly, unattractive man was. She screamed as she got closer and ran off. He knew the end had come. Men and women in the community who had fallen under the spell of Kwame Bosco were suddenly awoken and, remembering what had happened with him, marched angrily towards his place. Knowing beforehand what has to come, Kwame Bosco had long taken off. Being the greedy man he was, he ventured the forbidden forest he had once been for this unique power, in hopes of reacquiring a similar gift. He combed the forest in such futile hope, paying no attention, fatigue, or anything. Nothing would stop this mission, he said. Little did he know that the forbidden forest was not a place mortals could just venture at will. Walking on further, he came across the river from which the mermaid he had earlier met resided. It was easy to assume it as such, considering the shimmering glow on the surface. With eagerness, he approached, and within, he watched. There, he could see La Vitita at the surface. He screamed in plea that she came to his aid. She beckoned him to come, which she did without hesitation. Foolishly, he drowned, realizing that his vision of La Vitita had all been an illusion. It was late for him to make peace with himself as he died before hitting the bottom of the river. But had he died a happy man?